Hey everyone, welcome to this brief introduction of the Flextime app at Aurora High School. The Flextime app gives students a way to express where they would like to go during a Flextime period, and also gives the teachers a chance to verify that students have made it to the locations to which they said they were going. Within the Flextime app, students can also create their own organized events, and we'll demonstrate how to do that as well. But first, let's talk about how to get access to the app itself. In a browser, head over to flextime.aurora-schools.org. That's flextime.aurora-schools.org. When you go there, you're going to see this login page. And to log in, it's asking for your email and password. Your email is quite simple. You're going to provide your Aurora City Schools email address. Your password, at least initially, is your default student password. It's going to be capital A Aurora and your 4-digit lunch code. Your email and password entered correctly, click submit, and you'll be logged into the Flextime app. Notice there's a few things you can do in our Flextime app, and one of the most basic things you can do, and what you would do during every Flextime period, you do this process that we like to refer to as checking in. So you're going to do a check-in, and that starts at 7 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you're basically telling the system where it is you intend to go for your Flextime period that day. So, for instance, what we're going to do is we're going to say that this is a typical Flextime day. I'm going to click check-in. And if I click check-in after 7 a.m. on my Flextime day, I'll be given this interface that I can provide a location, where it is I want to check into, a motivation, which we'll talk about in a second, and a brief description describing what you're going to be doing that day. If we start with location, we click this drop-down list. The first thing that you're always going to see in this drop-down list is your scheduled homeroom. So minimally, you'll be able to check into your homeroom. If you have any events that you've signed up for, and we'll talk about events in a moment, they will show up after your homeroom entry. And then beneath that will be all of the available office hours, the locations, and the teacher's name that are available throughout the building on that particular Flextime period. In this particular case, I'm going to check into my homeroom location for Flextime today. In the motivation dropdown, we have three options. Basically, what we want to know every time you check in is, are you doing this because a teacher or administrator told you had to do that? Did they mandate that you're going to where you're going? Did a teacher or administrator recommend that you do whatever you're doing on this particular Flextime? Or are you fully deciding for yourself how you're going to spend your time during Flextime on this particular day? And then you throw in a brief description as to what you're up to during your Flextime period. With a location and motivation set, and your description entered, you can go ahead and click submit, and this will actually check you into the location that you're going to be heading to. Again, you can do this anytime after 7 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the particular Flextime period that's happening that day. And when you click submit, the system's basically going to show you that the room that you're checking into, the name of the teacher who is associated to that room, and then lastly, whether you've been verified or not. What does that mean? Well, if it's in the morning and I've checked into a location, when I show up at that location, the teacher's going to have the chance of verifying that I've showed up. That's sort of they're verifying my attendance to the location that I checked into. Once you reach your destination, in this case, when I go to the Commons, I'm going to want to make sure that a teacher has noticed that I'm there and that they've verified my attendance at the location that I'm checking into. By having a student basically telling us through checking in where they're heading, and then having some type of teacher or administrator at that location verifying that the student showed up allows Flextime to go on without a hitch. Students know where they're going, and the people who are responsible for the students know that they're arriving to the places where they checked in. That's the basic case for checking in, but you'll notice in the interface we also have this events option. Now, events are pretty much exclusive to students. Students can attend events. Students also organize events. So typically, when an event exists, it's because a student has organized an event. If I were to select available events or events that I'm attending, there really wouldn't be much to see here because nobody's really created an event yet, at least not as this is being recorded. And I'm not attending any events, and so this looks pretty boring as well. But let's say I'm a student that I have a passion for something and I actually want to create an event. Let's see how we can do that. Under that same events option, if I go down underneath the organize header, I can see that I can organize an event. And if I click on that, I'm presented with this screen. It's very important to understand that when you organize an event, number one, your name is attached to that event. Number two, all the other students in the school can see that event and sign up for it. We really recommend that you give some thought towards the type of event that you want to organize before actually creating an event. Please also note that once you've decided to organize an event, you can't undo it. You are the organizer of that event, you own it. People are going to be signing up and showing up to your event on the particular day for which you created. To organize an event, I would select a location and a date. So I can see I've got all the future Flextime dates on my list, and I can see the locations that I can associate to my event. So perhaps on Thursday, August 31st, I'm going to want to create or organize an event in the Mac Lab. I have to give my event a title, and maybe in this particular case, I want to do something with poetry. Maybe I want to have sort of like a poetry circle or a poetry reading where people can write poetry, bring it and read it and share it. So I'll give my event a title. I'll give my event a description. Once I've provided a location, a title, and an event description, I can create the event. Again, as soon as I create this event, everybody in the school is going to be able to see that this is my event. My name will be attached to it, and people will be able to register for it. Once the event's created, we get to see all the events that we're organizing, the number of people who are registered, the date and the location where our event is going to happen. If you ever want to get back to this screen after you've logged off and logged back in, you can always go to Events, Events I'm organizing, and it brings exactly this view up on your screen. I can click Manage. After people have actually signed up, I'll be able to see a list of names of students who have registered for this event. And this is also where I'm going to go when I want to verify the attendance of people who are attending my event. Clicking Events Listing takes us back to the list of events that we're organizing. Now maybe as a student, I'm not so interested in organizing an event, but I'd like to see the events that other people are organizing and maybe register for one of those. Now that we have an event created, I can go to the Events tab, and I can look at all the available events throughout Aurora High School. I notice that I'm seeing the title of the event, the location, and the date for when that event is going to occur. If I find something here of particular interest, all I have to do is click Register, and I am now registered for that event. My name shows up on the organizer's list, and the organizer, with the assistance of a Aurora City Schools staff member, will be able to verify my attendance at that event on that day. Last but not least, in the upper right-hand corner, where it shows that I'm signed in to the Flextime app, if I click on that, I can change my password away from that default password that I was originally given, or I can sign out. We definitely encourage you to sign out of the app whenever you're done using it. Thanks for watching our brief demonstration on the Flextime app. We hope it adds huge unique value to our Flextime experiment here at Aurora High School. Have an amazing day.